Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing the carrots problem in Kattis, and we're going to start out with Python. So the read through for this one is basically you're given two integers as an input on a single line, denoting the number of contestants in the contest and the number of Hufflepuff problems solved in total. Then follow in lines, each consisting of a single non-empty line in which the contestant describes him or himself. You may assume the contestants are good at describing themselves, blah blah blah. Output should consist of a single integer, the number of carrots that will be handed out during the contest. So you can see in the sample input 1, your numbers in the first line are 2, indicating there's 2 contestants, and 1, meaning there was 1 Hufflepuff problem that was solved in total. So that means the carrots that you're going to get out are basically just the second number. So the next 2 lines really don't do anything. Right now I'm just looking up the Python string method. So this is the split method we're going to use since the input is given in a single line. You can just do line.split, and your syntax here has 2 options, a separator and a max split. If you don't use any options, then it will just use the default as a white space for your delimiter, but you could also put in a plus sign, a comma, or any other symbol you want to indicate the space for the separator or the splitter. So here's our very simple code, and I'm deleting this line a equals int a because actually we aren't doing anything with it. And you always want to make the code as simple and as few lines as possible, or at least that's my mentality. Brevity, brevity, brevity. So let's run this with the sample input just to make sure. 1, 5, we get 5 out. Alright, so this was 4 lines of code. Very simple. Let's go change the programming language to Python 3, start coding, and submit. It'll run through its few test cases. And then I'll go back in and start coding in C++. So I'm just going to do a change directory. You'll see me typing in the terminal at the bottom. Change directory // to go to my Kattis folder and then into my C++ folder. And now I'm just going to type code dot, which will open up a new Visual Studio Code frame ready for a new file, and I'll type in carrots.cpp, and we're ready to go. So as always, the first couple of lines are going to be the same. Pound sign or hashtag include iostream using namespace standard semicolon. Now I'm ready to create my main function, int main. Int for the integer data type, since I will return 0 to indicate we're done with the program. Main, parentheses, and then brackets, and then we can define our variables or declare the variables as integer data types, int a and b, and then read them in with cn. And since both numbers are in the first line, or in a single line of input, we can just use one line, cn, with the double carrots a and then another double carrots b, indicating the first line will be assigned to variable a and the second one to b, and then we're just going to see out or print b. I'm going to run build task using G++. We'll see an exe file pop up underneath the C++ file, and now we're ready to run it. So in the terminal, it looks like I accidentally made my terminal disappear. So the shortcut for that is control with the, it's not the apostrophe, it's like right before the 1. It's like a backwards apostrophe with the control button. Makes your terminal appear and disappear. Okay, so I just ran a sample test case there. Looks good. So let's copy it into the Kattis terminal and run it. And finally, we'll do this same problem in Java. So let's go back into the prompt, change the language to Java. I'll close out of this one and go back to my main screen here in Visual Studio Code and make a new file for Java. To get started, I know I have some user input, so automatically I know I'm going to need the scanner class. So I'll start out with my first line, import java.util.scanner. So I'm importing the scanner class used to read in data. And then we'll name the public class the same name as the file. So public class carrots, parentheses, and then I'll need some brackets after that. And at this point I'll have to hop over to the tutorial site I like to use because the main method syntax is so long I can't ever remember it. So let's jump over to the site and scroll down to any example really. So public static void main string brackets args. I'm going to create my documentation line by using / create scanner class or create scanner object. We imported the class and now we're creating an object from that class. So scanner in is what I'm naming my object equals new scanner capital system.in semicolon. And then since I created it, let's just go ahead and use it to read in the user input. So int a equals in the object dot next int, which is the built-in method in the scanner class. And again, I probably don't even need to well, I need to read it in because there's two numbers, so the only way it'll know that the second number is B is if we read in both of them, but defining A as an integer data type really isn't imperative here. We could leave it as a string, and because we're not using it, it wouldn't make a difference. And now I'm going to print out the second number, which is how many correct problems they're rewarded with carrots. System.out.println, and what we want to print goes inside the parentheses, which is B, the second number. And then just to tidy it up for good practice, close the scanner object. So the name of the object, which is n.close. Close is a built-in function, so I need to have parentheses after it. Empty parentheses, just like I have after the next int or any other built-in. But I will correct that in a second. So here I'm running it, and the debugger caught that I didn't have the parentheses. So you see the red squiggle marks under close. So there I'm adding it. Looks good. Let's run a test case. So we'll type in 1 space 2 and it outputs 2, which is what it should do. So this is ready to copy and paste into Kattis and submit. And there you go. That was the carrots problem. And next time The thing about Kattis is the order of difficulty of problems kind of switches around, so I never know what's going to be next in sequence, even though I'm kind of trying to go in sequence. So probably the next one I'm doing is quality adjusted life year problem. See you in my next one.